a decade after his controversial exit from the hit ABC drama.
Preston Burke.
Had that experience at Grey's Anatomy not played out the way it did.
He accused of something, you don't go in the Golden Globes and use the very word that you've been accused of using. That was a huge mistake.
So years after his controversial exit, the actor's making explosive new allegations about Patrick Dempsey's rampant bad behavior, Ellen Pompeo's secret hush money, and the shocking truth about those toxic culture issues too. In today's video, we're diving into some shocking allegations recently made by former Grey's Anatomy star Isaiah Washington regarding the show's behind-the-scenes environment. And stay tuned, y'all, because some of these is mad juicy. Okay, so for like the 5 of you that don't know what's going down, let me break it down. Now, Washington, who played the role of Dr. Preston Burke on the show for 3 seasons before his controversial exit in 2007, has made some major claims about his former co-stars, including leads Patrick Dempsey and Ellen Pompeo. Now, he alleges rampant toxicity and unprofessional behavior was occurring amongst the cast and crew during his time on set. It does show that no matter how great the performances in the show might be, no matter how friendly the cast might seem with each other in those behind-the-scenes clips, that's not always the case in real life. Now, this medical drama was just as exciting and controversial off-screen as it was on-screen. First up, let's provide a little bit of background and context around Washington's exit from Grey's Anatomy in 2007. Now, at the time, rumors were swirling that Washington had used a homophobic slur against gay co-star T.R. Knight during an on-set argument. These allegations exploded when Washington repeated the slur backstage at the 2007 Golden Globes. Now, initially, Washington denied that the incident occurred, but later issued an apology admitting to using the slur and calling it unfortunate. Now, after this, ABC made the decision to dismiss Washington from the show. Now, both the network and Washington stated publicly that they had mutually agreed to part ways. And so his exit was extremely controversial and centered around on-set conflicts and allegations of homophobia. Washington has since expressed bitterness about how the whole situation played out. Over a decade later, Washington is now making more bombshell claims about what went on at Grey's Anatomy, especially involving former co-star Patrick Dempsey. In an October 2021 radio interview, Washington alleged that Dempsey was actually quite problematic behind the scenes from early on. Now, shockingly, he claims that Dempsey asserted his belief that white men are the masters of the universe during a private conversation. Furthermore, Washington says that Dempsey's bad behavior on set got him in trouble with other cast members, including lead actress Ellen Pompeo. Now, this kind of segues into perhaps the most jaw-dropping accusation that Washington has made, that Pompeo was paid $5 million by ABC to not reveal details about Patrick Dempsey's toxic behavior on set. Now, Washington claims that the homophobia accusations against himself were initially leveraged by network executives to divert attention away from Dempsey's misdeeds. So Washington states, "Now, I didn't know that the homophobic accusation would stick to me so hard, but I found out why. It was an agenda to cover up for the toxic and bad behavior of many of my former castmates on that show, and the top of that will be Patrick Dempsey." Now, if true, these claims would be beyond shocking and cast Grey's Anatomy in an entirely different light. In addition to the Dempsey and Pompeo allegations, Washington has also recently made claims on Twitter about rampant drug and alcohol abuse among the Grey's cast and crew. He wrote, "I wonder if I should tweet about the rampant alcohol and drugs used amongst my fellow castmates and producers of Grey's Anatomy and all the swingers parties that took place." Now, Washington also alleges via tweet that a producer had to break into Dempsey's apartment on multiple occasions because Dempsey was too inebriated to make it onto set. So, if true, his allegations paint a picture of not just interpersonal issues on set, but substance issues and highly unprofessional behavior occurring frequently behind the scenes. Now, as you can imagine, Washington's claims have caused quite a stir online amongst Grey's Anatomy fans and entertainment journalists. Many have been left shocked and are divided on whether his bold accusations hold any veracity or not. Now, on one hand, some feel that Washington may just be making inflammatory statements out of bitterness from his controversial exit. After all, these are some major allegations to make, especially so many years later. But on the other hand, a lot of other people feel that rumors and whispers of on-set issues and tension amongst the Grey's cast have persisted for years. Fans have noticed many lead actors suddenly exiting the show under mysterious circumstances, like Katherine Heigl and T.R. Knight. Now, Ellen Pompeo herself has alluded to there being a very negative work culture in the show's early seasons. So some things they saying are lending credence to Washington's claims based on the show's history itself. Now, the question also arises that if this kind of toxic or legally questionable behavior was truly occurring on set, why haven't other cast members spoken out about the whole thing until now? Overall, fan reactions seem pretty mixed, with some instantly believing Washington wholeheartedly, while others remain highly skeptical. Now, whether or not all of Washington's claims are completely factual, it's pretty clear that he's still really bitter about how things went down at Grey's Anatomy over a decade ago. Despite making a brief guest appearance on the show in 2014, he continues levying accusations and criticism against Shonda Rhimes, Ellen Pompeo, Patrick Dempsey, and the network years after his departure from the series. In his retirement tweet earlier this year, he cited the haters, provocateurs, and useful idiots as reasons for leaving acting, so he clearly feels targeted, wronged, and affected by the toxicity he alleges occurred on set frequently. Now, his recent tweets also show that he's still processing these negative experiences from all those years working at Grey's. But the big question is, will any solid proof of his claims emerge now that he's daring to speak out about it? Or could legal action actually be taken to silence the guy? If the cast is staying silent despite Isaiah's comments, it shows that his allegations might actually be true. Now, we know that despite several awareness campaigns going on, racism is still one of the key issues faced by individuals in the US. Also, allegations like substance abuse and nepotism don't seem that unrealistic or too far-fetched to us either. For instance, Ellen Pompeo once interrupted a conversation about racism during a 2015 interview with Entertainment Weekly. The interview included Shonda Rhimes, Viola Davis, and Kerry Washington. So when asked about a New York Times article that called Davis less classically beautiful than lighter-skinned black actresses, Pompeo cut in saying, "If any good comes out of ignorance, then I'll take the ignorance." Now this caused Davis to sigh, and Pompeo left the room in tears, realizing her damn mistake. Talk about open-mouthed insert foot. So now Isaiah's bold allegations, especially involving leads Ellen Pompeo and Patrick Dempsey, paint an alarming picture of what was allegedly occurring behind the scenes during the show's early seasons at the height of its success. Fans and commentators remain divided on whether to believe Washington's version of events. However, a lot agree that something seems amiss given the amount of turmoil, exits, and rumored on-set tension swirling around Grey's Anatomy through the years. And while no concrete evidence has yet surfaced to outright confirm Washington's shocking claims, if proven even partially true, this would fully recontextualize one of the most popular shows in TV history. And so there you have it. That wraps up this breakdown of Isaiah Washington's latest revelations about Grey's Anatomy and what may have transpired during his time on the globally famous show. Now, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Now be sure to let me know your take on all these allegations in the comment section down below. Man, I gotta know, how many of you are buying what Washington is selling? And how many of y'all are out there straight dismissing what the man's saying? I want to hear your perspective, so share it in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you in the next video.